It is Thursday, February 6, 2020, and you are tuned in to DIRTRACKR Daily. Welcome to the new podcast. Lots of cool stuff planned. Obviously, kind of experimenting with some different things. Obviously, podcast form, it'll be available wherever you get podcasts. Also going to do, if you're watching this on the video version, going to upload this to YouTube and Facebook so you can tune in video every day if you like that better. Lots of good stuff to come. I talked about it a little bit on Twitter last night, kind of some of my plans with the show. So just to kind of give you an idea, I want to recap the night's news. I want to talk about last night's results. I want to look at points. I want to kind of give you a daily picture of what's going on kind of across the dirt landscape. Not just going to cover one series. We're going to talk sprint cars. We're going to talk late models. We're going to talk modifieds, Outlaws, All-Stars, Lucas, World of Outlaws late models. I mean, we'll talk IMCA and dirt car modifieds. We'll talk Super Dirt Car Series, USAC. So all kinds of things, on the horizon, things to talk about. And then on top of that, some of the stuff I'm doing with DIRTRACKR Daily or DIRTRACKR.com. I've added the new analytics part. I have some cool ideas for some things I want to go through there. I've added some very low-level stats right now just to kind of give you guys an idea of what is possible. Right now I have the full 2019 World of Outlaws schedule there, all of the results. And I'm going to be adding more World of Outlaws seasons, and then I'm going to branch out and do other series as well, and then be able to add some different stats there as well. So keep an eye on that stuff. But just to kind of jump right into it now, busy night last night, lots of stuff going on. Volusia Dirt Car Nationals is now officially underway. Last night was the first night for sprint cars. Modifieds got underway the night before. And the other thing going on is Lucas is starting their speed weeks. They got kicked off last Saturday, the 1st, at Golden Isles. They lost Friday to rain. But just want to go back through and recap those couple of nights here that we've had already since we missed those, obviously not getting the show started in time. But last Saturday, Tim McCready, he wins over Brandon Overton, Brandon Shepard, Mike Marlar, and Jonathan Davenport. Super emotional when he got out of the car. Obviously some stuff going on with his dad, but good way to get started for him. New team this year, so he was super pumped. Moving over to Monday, they went from Golden Isles in Georgia down to East Bay in Florida. Devin Moran picks up his first win over Kyle Bronson, Tyler Erb, Jonathan Davenport, and Chris Garnes. Super good racing at the front. Lots of guys led laps in this one. McCready, Shepard, Bronson, Tyler Erb all led laps. It was Moran's first East Bay win. And like I said, super good racing up front. Tuesday over at East Bay, Brandon Shepard, he picks up his first win of the 2020 season. He wins over Brandon Overton, Tim McCready, Tim Dome, and Jonathan Davenport. And then Wednesday, last night, McCready wins again over Brandon Overton, Shepard, Tyler Erb, Brian Shirley. Forgive me if you're hearing these names over and over again, but McCready, Overton, Shepard, Erb, these guys all been up front almost every single night. If you take a quick look at the Lucas points, obviously super early in the season. Lot of racing to do yet. McCready is leading the series points right now over Brandon Shepard and Devin Moran, and then McCready also leading the Speed Weeks points with obviously lots more racing to go. This obviously will change dramatically over the course of the season, but just to give you an idea. Moving over to Volusia. Last night was the first night for the All-Stars. The first two nights at Volusia are All-Star races, and then the All-Stars are going to move on. The Florida part of the schedule for the All-Stars is sanctioned, but no points on the line. And so some of the All-Star regulars that you'll see during the season are not in attendance for some of these races. Some of these guys wait till later in the year to jump in and kind of kick the season off for them, because these early races, obviously, like I said, not for points. But kind of getting tuned up now for the Outlaw weekend. You see a lot of the Outlaw guys running these first couple of nights. Some guys kind of pick and choose. They might run one night or maybe only run the Outlaw nights. Maybe they'll take the All-Star nights off. But super strong field of cars last night. Brad Sweet picks up his first win in 2020. Just rolling all through 2019, wins the 2019 Outlaws Championship, and he jumped in right last night and had some good racing up front. That kind of early to middle part of that feature, Ian Madsen, Corey Eliason lead early. Brad runs them down and then kind of takes off in traffic and drives away over those last, 10 or 12 laps. But not a good night for the Sides Motorsports guys. Jason gets upside down in the B main, really tested that catch fence. Glad to see he's okay. If you didn't see that video, you can go check it out. It's on the Flow Racing Twitter. And then Shane Stewart in the feature had a little issue. He got turned over as well. Saw both guys are okay. They'll be back Friday for the Outlaw portion. They are not going to race tonight at Volusia for the second All-Star night. But the other thing to kind of come out of this All-Star stuff is, and if you've been trying to watch the last couple of nights, you've only been seeing the dirt car UMP modifieds on Dirt Vision. The All-Stars are partnering up with Flow Racing this year, so the full All-Star schedule will be on Flow Racing. And then a bit of news that I think kind of got lost in the last day or two is the IRA Sprint Series also jumping onto Flow for the 2020 season. So Flow just continues to add more partners and more racing. So it'll be interesting to keep up with that stuff all year to go along with the offerings they already have in USAC and some of the other stuff. So, but fun night last night at Volusia. Good racing up front, like I said. And those cars will be back tonight at Volusia to continue the Dirt Car Nationals portion. Kind of moving along a little bit, besides wanting to cover the kind of days, big headlines, results, things like that, I also want to kind of pick a topic on a daily basis, and we'll do different topics, we'll cover different things, and I hope to have some interviews and some things that we'll record in advance that we'll play as well, and we'll have guys kind of from across the spectrum of dirt racing, not just drivers and things, but we'll have other people as well. But I wanted to talk about the USAC silly season. This is something that always kind of blows me away on a year-to-year basis, is just how much movement there is from team to team. And I know it's kind of a what have you done for me lately type of situation. But even Sprint Series champion CJ Leary is moving to a different team this year. So obviously not just the guys lower down the order, but even somebody like CJ who won the championship is not immune to the silly season stuff. So. But I wanted to, before their season kicks off here, they kick off February 13th. The sprint cars kick off February 13th, which is next weekend at Bubba Raceway Park. And then the midgets get underway tomorrow night, February 7th at Bubba. They're going to run the 7th and the 8th for the Winter Dirt Games down there. But just to kind of give you guys a little refresher of kind of what's gone on here this off season and get you prepared. I compiled kind of a whole list of a lot of the different big moves and things that have happened, and I kind of want to run through that a little bit. But Kevin Thomas Jr. Was with Hayward last year. He's going to jump back into his family-owned 9K. They're going to have McDonald's on the car, but he's also obviously not changing teams in the midgets. He's going to stay with Petrie for next year. Kevin Thomas Jr. was third in 2019 sprint points. He was fourth in 2019 midget points. Tanner Carrick is moving from Keith Coons, the Keith Coons midget team, over to Petrie as well. So he'll team up with Kevin Thomas Jr. there for the 2020 USAC midget run. He was sixth in the 2019 midget points. Another big name, Chris Wyndham, he moves from Parallax over to Hayward for the 2020 season. He also moves from Clausen Marshall to the Tucker Boat team for midgets. He was sixth in the sprint points in 2019, third in the midget points. That Tucker Boat team, I think, is going to be super strong this year. Obviously, they had a great run at Chili Bowl, had a good shot to win there with Christopher Bell. So going to be a strong team there next year. Cole Bodine is moving from Petrie over to Clausen Marshall for the midget campaign. He's going to be in that 39 BC. And then, like I mentioned, kind of at the top of this, CJ Leary moving from Reinbold Underwood over to Gene Gao Racing for 2020. Leary was your 2019 sprint champion. Interesting to see what he'll be able to do this season. One big name not moving that I kind of wanted to throw in here is Justin Grant. He's going to stay with Top for 2020. He was fifth in the 2019 sprint points. Another pickup for the Tucker Boat team for the 2020 midget season is Andrew Laser. He moves over from Clausen Marshall to add to that potent Tucker Boat lineup. Keith Coons Motorsports picking up a couple of young guns. Dazen Pursley, young kid. He's moving up full-time to competition this year. And then Buddy Kofoid. Obviously, Buddy had a huge season last year, had a couple of wins, won the Fremont Track Championship. He is a California kid, came to Ohio and ran a bunch this season in a 410. So it'll be interesting to see what he's able to do. He also had a really strong run at the Chili Bowl this year. Logan Seavey, he's going to jump in that championship-winning Reinbold car this year. He moves over from the Keith Coons midget team. Seavey was second in the 2019 midget points. So could be a potent combination there as well. Obviously, Logan is incredibly talented. Had a solid run for the Swindales at Chili Bowl, and then we'll be looking, probably to repeat that championship run in that Reinbold car. A couple part-time cars for Keith Kunz during the 2020 midget season. Zeb Wise and Holly Holland are going to kind of have a little bit of a pick and choose schedule there. Wise is going to be super busy. He is going to run the full all-star schedule for Sam McGee, and again has a very full 410 schedule this year, but when he's able to, he's going to come back and jump in that Keith Kunz car. He's obviously moving over from the Clausen Marshall team. And then Holly Holland, she's going to run ARCA West stock cars for Bill McAnally, kind of venturing out into that Fender world to see what she can do, kind of in that Toyota program. So it'd be interesting to kind of see her back and forth this year. Carson Short, he's going to move from his family car over to Dave Phillips for 2020. Jason McDougall was in that car last year. Carson was 9th in the 2019 sprint points. Only one Silver Crown move that I have on the list here. Shane Cockrum, he's going to join 5-3 Motorsports for the dirt portion of the Silver Crown schedule. The Silver Crown schedule gets underway a little bit later, May 3rd at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Anthony D'Alessio, he's going to join Parallax. He's going to run this will be his rookie campaign in the USAC Sprint Series. So we'll keep an eye on what he's able to do with that team. And then another guy that impressed at Chili Bowl in a Keith Kunz machine was Kenna McIntosh. He's going to go full time this year for Keith here, announced not too long ago. He won in 2019 driving for his dad's team at the Shamrock Classic in DuQuoin, and then also won his Chili Bowl prelim night and finished 3rd in the Chili Bowl feature. So super strong young driver who will be jumping in that Keith Kunz machine. So he'll be potent this year as well. That's really about it. I guess I shouldn't say that's about it because that's a ton of things on the list here. There's about 10 or 12 different moves here, but just incredible to see all of the different things that happen over the course of the offseason for the USAC guys, and it'll be interesting to see how that series, both of those series, the sprints and the midgets kind of break down the season with all the different moves. And who's able to come out on top there. And like I said, February 13th through the 15th, Bubba Raceway Park for the sprint cars. February 7th through the 8th at Bubba Raceway Park for the midgets. All of that can be seen live on Flow Racing. I guess I probably should have did this at the top. If you guys don't know who I am, I host another podcast. You may have heard of it, Open Red. We cover World of Outlaws sprint cars on that podcast. I've worked for World Racing Group and the World of Outlaws for quite a few years, but kind of wanted to branch out and do something different and be able to talk about some other racing and some other topics, which is why I've started this. I also am a tire changer for a NASCAR team. I change rear tires for Bubba Wallace, Richard Petty Motorsports. Just to kind of give you an idea of my motorsports background, if you kind of look around my office here behind me, you'll see kind of some different motorsports items. But been around racing a long time. Very first race I ever went to was at a dirt track. So have a long history, long background. My dad was a racer as well. So a lot of history with racing, and excited to kind of experiment with this show a little bit, and will be some bugs to work out. Obviously, I'm kind of doing some different things with music and graphics, and if you kind of look on the screen, I've got the date up top. I've got my social media handles, if I can point it in properly right here, also DIRTRACKR.com. So check that stuff out as well if you haven't checked out DIRTRACKR.com. A good daily source for all kinds of things going on. I've got news. I'll have updated point standings there. I've got the daily pay-per-view schedule. I've added the analytics section. I've got tracks. I've got videos. There's all kinds of stuff on there. Just to kind of give you an idea on a night-to-night basis as we do the show, I'll update you about podcast or about pay-per-view shows. And so tonight, Volusia Speedway, DIRTRACKR Nationals, the DIRTRACKR UMP modified portion again live on Dirt Vision, and the All-Star Circuit of Champions portion live on Flow Racing. We also have the Sunshine Swing kicking off for the Short Track Super Series there at All Tech Raceway. That's on Dirt Track Digest TV and Speed Sport. So jump over there to check that out if you're curious. And then Lucas Oil Late Models back at East Bay Raceway Park. Again, that's on Lucas Oil Racing TV. So lots of stuff to watch tonight, a lot of stuff to get into. And then I'm going to add a couple other things to the site this morning after I post the show. I want to do a weekly email newsletter. So just be once a week, nothing too heavy. I'd like to kind of collect maybe some of the week's cool headlines and things like that, and then throw in some links to some podcasts and some different shows that I find interesting. Lots of good podcasts out there right now. If you haven't listened to Open Red, if you haven't listened to Rip the Fence or Wing Nation or Ohio Dirt Nerds, all that stuff, Top Shelf. There's a lot of cool stuff going on. Michael Rigsby is doing a new show. He's had a couple great episodes so far. Suave Talk and Tyler Erb are doing some stuff over at Dirt on Dirt as well. You can find those episodes over at DIRTRACKR.com. Click on the podcast link at the top to see all of the latest stuff. But I'll throw in some cool podcast links, some cool episode links, and just kind of give you a rundown on the week's action. So if you'd like to check that out, you can go sign up for the email newsletter over at DIRTRACKR.com. You can also find the show. It'll be available wherever you get podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, all of those great places. And then obviously if you're watching this on YouTube or on Facebook, I'm experimenting with video a little bit. So you can find the show on YouTube and on Facebook. I'll put those there every single day. And then what else? Yeah, like I said, man, excited to get started here. Hopefully you guys will enjoy it. I don't want to make these episodes too long. We'll try to keep it, maybe 15, 20, 25 minutes, just to kind of give you that quick hit of dirt racing news and rundown on what happened the day before. Some of them might stretch out a little bit longer than that, depending on if maybe we have a guest or something like that, but. Excited to jump into this. Hope you guys like this. If you have suggestions, please let me know. I can certainly make changes and edits. Like I said, this is new and I'm kind of learning as we go here. So, but appreciate you tuning in, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for DIRTRACKR Daily.